In today's episode, I am answering your questions that have been submitted to me all month for our October Q&A episode. We have questions on how much content you should include inside of your membership. I talk about if your membership should always be open or if you should open and close it. Talk about how to get more members inside once momentum and excitement dies down. What must-haves you should have inside of your membership, regardless of your industry. It's a good one, so let's get into it. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work. Your life is about to get so good. Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Memberships. You know what day it is. It is the last Monday of the month if you are listening to this in real time, which means we are here for our October Q&A episode. I love these. I love these. If you don't know what these are, at the end of every month, on the last Monday of every month, I do a Q&A episode where I'm basically just answering questions that have been submitted to me either through Instagram or through email, and we've got some good ones today. So I'm so excited to dive into this. If you did not get a chance to submit your questions and you're like, hey, I have questions. I want to ask questions for the podcast. Super simple. Slide into my DMs on Instagram. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just ask me there. And I have a running tab of questions all month. So if you have a question that you'd like answered on the podcast, make sure to find me on Instagram at the Membership Muse and just send me a DM. Sometimes I'll also put the little question box on my Instagram stories, and then you can ask your questions there as well. So if you don't see that box, just slide in my DMs. I am so happy for you to do that. And maybe you can have your question answered on the podcast. So let's get into the first question, which is how much content should I have inside of my membership? I feel like this is a very common one. I think something that most founders do is they just want their customers, their members, to have the absolute best experience. And so we just load our membership full of stuff. We go back in our Google Drive and look at all of the templates that we've created in the past, or all of the trainings that we've done in the past, and we just try and fill it up. And that is probably the opposite of what you actually want to do. So let's talk about what you actually need to have inside of your membership. Too much content inside of your membership just leads to overwhelm. So don't just put stuff in there to have stuff in there. Your members will actually be a lot happier with you and with your membership if they get in and it's lean but effective. I want you to just imagine this yourself. Maybe you've gone into a membership where you get inside and there's just stuff everywhere. There's files everywhere. You don't know where to start. There's no orientation. And you're just kind of left to figure it out on your own. Likely, you're going to cancel that membership as soon as you can, because even if the answers are in there, you don't know how to get the answers, or you don't have the time to go and try and sift through everything to figure it out. So you want to make sure that the content that you have inside of your membership is actually very strategic. My rule is that nothing inside of your membership, or there should be nothing inside of your membership that doesn't actually relate to your success path. If you're an OG of the podcast, you know what a success path is. I talk about it all the time because as a membership founder, you need to be familiar with it. It's very important. Basically, your success path summed up is the path your members are going to take to complete the transformation of your membership. So if your membership is helping people lose weight, what are the core things that they need to know in order to get there? If your membership is helping people become a better artist, what are the steps that they need to take to get there? If your membership is helping people go from $0 to 6 figures, what are the core steps that people need to take to get there? You understand. If you are thinking of content to go into your membership, you want to make sure that you can actually pair every single piece of content to an area of your success path. So for example, if you're a business coach and you have a membership that's helping already established coaches scale to multiple 6 figures. So established coaches scale to multiple 6 figures. You don't want to be including templates of how to get your first client, because they've already done that. Even if you maybe have coached other people who are starting at the very beginning, you don't just want to throw that template in there to make sure that there's a lot of content in there just because. You want to make sure every single piece relates to your success path. So my tip for you is look at your membership. What is the transformation? When people get into your membership, where are they? Where do they want to go? What is that result that they're wanting to get? When you take that big result, that big transformation, you break down the steps in order that they need to take in order to get there. Every single piece of content inside of your membership needs to relate to one step. You should be able to look at a piece of content or a section in your course and say, this helps you with this step. Number 2 is, should my membership always be open, or how often should I open it? So this one really depends on your membership. For most memberships, and I'll explain in a little second, but for most memberships, I'm a fan of doing an open close model, meaning it's not open all year round. Why I like this rather than having your membership open as like an evergreen, which means it's open all of the time, is number 1, it creates urgency for people to actually get inside of your membership. There's always, and if you've been in the industry for a while, you know, no matter what, your membership could be $20, it could be $2,000. There's always going to be that person saying, oh my God, I would love to get in, but I'll get in next time. Or, oh my God, I'd love to get in, but I just had a car payment come out. I'm going to get in next month, or I'm going to get in next week, or whatever happens. And usually how this ends up is the person just never comes in. There's always something that is taking precedence over them coming into your membership. So when you have an open close, this creates that like time urgency where it's kind of like you get in now or you have to wait. If your marketing is on point, which we do get into in a little bit in this episode, but if your marketing is on point, meaning your people actually see the value of your membership, then this works. The other reason I like this is just for you, like the business owner's mental state and just emotional state and just like your well-being, honestly, is that when you have an open close membership, you're not constantly in sales and launching mode. And I think one of the most important pieces of having a membership is your primary focus is your membership. Your primary focus is making your membership better and better and better for your members inside. You're constantly dialing in your member experience. You're constantly tuning in and dialing in your membership for your members. You're making it tighter. You're making it easier to work through. Everything is your primary focus as a membership founder. When you have an evergreen membership, a lot of times what happens is you're constantly just trying to get more people in, more people in, more people in. You're constantly trying to create content to get people into your membership to sell. You're coming up with bonuses. That is what's really taking up your space. And so what happens is when people come into your membership, because your focus has just been on selling your membership, you haven't really done the due diligence and like really put in the time needed to make your membership the absolute best membership it possibly could be. This isn't true for everyone, but I've seen this for most people who do evergreen. This is the case. They're so focused on content and selling that the membership takes a back burner, and then you're constantly just getting people coming in but leaving because the membership's not what they thought it would be, or your membership's not as great as it could be. And so you have this like what I call a leaky bucket. You're constantly getting people in, but you're constantly having people leave. So you're not really growing your membership. Personally, I would rather have 3 big launches a year and go hard and put all of my effort into those launches, make them amazing, and get more people in them because people know that they have to get in at that time. They can't just keep saying next week or next month or whatever it is. You actually end up getting more people by doing it this way. Now, of course, this isn't going to be cookie cutter. This strategy works for everyone because that's not how business works. If you have a membership that is like an urgent membership, meaning people can't wait another month to get in it. Where they are at, where you are meeting them, their starting point to get that transformation inside your membership, if that starting point is something that can't really wait, then this model isn't going to work for you. So for an example, something like if you had a pregnancy membership. You have a membership really helping people navigate their first pregnancy or whatever it may be. People aren't going to wait another 3 months for your membership to open when they're pregnant because they want that support right then and there. Like there's a time limit here. The baby's coming. They can't wait until your membership opens again. So for like memberships like that kind of have to be urgent, or like another example I use all the time is a sobriety membership. That's not something where there's like a literal baby inside of somebody that cannot wait, but it is something that when people need it, they need it. It's not something that people can just wait a little bit for because it's something that they actually need. When they need that support, they need it right then and there. So just be mindful of what kind of membership you have and really ask yourself, do you have a membership that people cannot wait for? Or do you have a membership that, yeah, obviously it would be nice for someone to get in right away, but no, it's actually something that people can technically wait for and make sure that they get in when it's open. I also then have a lot of clients who come into, say, like $1 Million Memberships Club, which is my monthly membership, and they are brand new. And then they're like, well, Paige, this is amazing, but I just started my membership. I don't have a ton of audience members. So when I opened the first time, I only got 10 members. I don't want to wait another 6 months to open my membership again. So this is another one of those, be mindful of where you're at, right? Business is not cookie cutters. So what I typically say to people who are in this place where it's brand new is I still recommend doing an open close model. However, I recommend doing your open close more times a year. So maybe it's 4 times, once a quarter rather than once or twice. And when you're closed, you are still selling on the back end. This might be through an email funnel. This might be through masterclasses that you only offer to your email list. There's a ton of ways to do this. In fact, inside of $1 Million Memberships Club, we have a template of ways to consistently sell all year long outside of your major launches. So if you're in $1 Million Memberships Club, that's a really great resource to look at inside of your template vault. And even if you're not brand new, this is something that you should have inside of your backend anyways, is always making sure that you are selling or you are growing a wait list or whatever it is, you are getting people into your world wanting to join your membership and you're getting them on a list, whether that's actually getting them through the door or whether that's just getting them on a wait list. That's a huge, huge piece of being able to actually grow a membership. But that is for another episode because that could probably be an entire episode on its own. Question number 3 is, how do I get more members inside? People seemed excited at first, but now interest has died. And the one thing I want you to know about this, to the person who asked this is so 100% normal. This is so normal with anything, not even with memberships, like with literally any offer that you are going to put out in your business. When you are first launching something for the first time, it's new, it's exciting. You have a pool of people who are going to be interested. Once you launch, you get those interested people inside, then you go to launch again. Likely you're going to have way less people who are excited because the people who were excited, they're in. And it's not this like new exciting thing anymore. And unfortunately, this is why a lot of membership founders end up scrapping their memberships, is because they think it's just not working. They think that people aren't interested in it and they crumple it up, try again with a new offer, go and make a course, whatever the fuck. And then they realize the same thing's happening with their course or the same thing's happening with the other offer that they came up with. It's not your membership that's the problem. So here's how you can overcome this. Well, number 1, the first thing before we really get into it is whenever you launch something and then your launch is over, you need to follow that up by more audience growth. Like you always need to be building your audience because again, it's like when you launch something, you have that pool of people who are interested, they come into your membership. And then if you're not intentionally building your audience and building up your leads and filling your pipeline, you don't have anyone there anymore, right? It's like you have to keep constantly filling that pipeline, selling, filling the pipeline, selling. So that's just like the basic thing to know is you need to always be intentionally growing your audience. That's either through building your audience organically through content or borrowing an audience, which is something like doing content swaps or podcast tours or collaborating with other people who might have a similar audience to you, getting people from another audience and bringing them to you is essentially what that is. Or you can buy an audience, which is running ads. So you want to make sure that is always a piece of your business. Outside of that, the other thing you want to be doing is you want to make sure that you are so intentional with selling your membership. You don't just want to rely on social media saying, doors are open, my membership's open, come in, I have this bonus. Like that just doesn't work. The internet, social media is so noisy. What is it? Like 2 to 4% of your audience actually sees your content. Again, that is, I feel like I talked about that on another episode recently. That's a whole other topic, but you can't just rely on social media to sell your offers. So if you are constantly building your audience, on top of that, the next step is that you need to have an intentional sales strategy, something that creates urgency for them to actually take action now, something that gets them off of social media, because again, you want to bring them into your world. You don't want to keep them on social media. It's too noisy. So something that takes them off of there and something that provides so much value. It's almost like a pre-step to get into your membership. It's like, come off of social media, They're in your world in this like little incubator, if you will. And then they go into your membership. This little incubator that you need to create, it needs to be something that gives them a ton of value so they actually can trust that this membership is the right step for them. It needs to meet them where they're at so they can actually see themselves in the transformation of your membership. And it needs to have some sort of time urgent bonus incentive for them to get in right away. So they're not just on the fence forever and ever and ever until they eventually just fall off the face of the earth. This is something I call incubator content. If you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club, you know we are always constantly getting people from social media, putting them in our incubators, whatever that is, whatever, maybe it's a free challenge, maybe it's a masterclass, maybe it's a workshop, maybe it's a boot camp, whatever it is, something where you're providing a ton of value. You're getting them off of social media and then you're selling your membership. And like I said in the other question is you want to do something like this a few times a year. You don't want to constantly have to be doing this. You really want to be intentional when you're doing something like this to line it up around your selling times, membership open times. So again, that's how people are actually going to have that urgency to join right then and there. So as long as you are constantly building your audience and then you're doing something like an incubator where you're taking people off of social media, that audience you're building, you're taking them off of social media, you're giving them a ton of value, and you're selling your membership at the end with a time sensitive bonus or incentive, that is how you continuously sell your membership and continuously get urgency and excitement around your membership. You cannot just rely on social media and you cannot just rely on selling and promoting to the same audience you've had for months. Number 4 is I started a membership to have a more accessible offer, but people are still saying it's too expensive. What do I do? So the first thing I'll say here is that 99% of the time, it's not actually about price. Maybe like 1% of the time it is, but for most people, it's not. And I'm going to explain why that is. And I'm going to kind of explain this in a way that I think most people will understand here. So for example, let's look at something like an iPhone. An iPhone is such a good example of making it something that technically you don't actually need, right? You don't need it to survive. You don't need it for food, water. You don't need an iPhone to survive. You can get a basic phone. But people's perceived value of the iPhone is a necessity. People will say that your membership at $67 is too expensive, but they'll say their iPhone payment of $297 a month is fine because they need it. Do people want to pay for iPhones? No, people don't want extra expenses, but they will because they see it as a necessity rather than a luxury. Another example is, well, I guess just like a phone bill in general. People are going to pay $297, or actually that's really expensive. People are going to pay $120 every single month for their phone bill because they see that as a necessity rather than just a luxury. Right? Technically, you could have a prepaid whatever type of phone and pay $20 a month for it, but most people are going to have an actual phone plan with a phone. You get it. People see this as an essential, and so they're going to make sure that they can pay for it. Whereas maybe a luxury gym membership, some people see as a luxury. Not everyone is going to pay extra for that because that's just like a luxury. They don't actually see that as something that they actually need in their life to improve their life. Maybe most people will just go to a regular gym. Some people might see it as a necessity, but a lot of people are just going to see that as a luxury and they'll do fine at a regular gym. So it doesn't actually matter the price of your membership for the most part. For the majority of you, you're going to have memberships around the same general price range. So it's not actually the price of your membership that is the issue. It is the perceived value of your membership that is the issue. You shouldn't be going to your membership and saying, oh my God, I need to scrap this. It's too expensive for people. Or you shouldn't be going to your membership and slashing the prices. You should be going to your messaging and your marketing and looking at how are you actually positioning this membership to your audience. Are you a health coach and you're positioning your membership as something with challenges and workouts and a community and it'll help them lose weight? Or are you a health coach selling a health membership to people that'll guarantee improvement of their entire lives? They'll get their energy back. They'll be able to show up at work better. They'll be able to add 5 more hours to their day because they can get up earlier, and they'll be able to go to sleep at a decent time, and they'll have this solid routine. They'll be able to show up at work better, maybe get a raise, make more money, be able to take their kids on vacation. They'll have a community that actually locks in these results and ensures that this is something that actually is the thing that changes their life for the better, because not only do they have this support, but they have the community holding them accountable and motivating them. Are you just positioning your membership as this like luxury thing, this additional thing that they have to do in their life? Or are you positioning it as something that is going to be the pillar of how they show up in their life? That is going to be the literal difference of if they continue living the way that they're living, feeling groggy, feeling shitty, feeling sleep deprived, just kind of going through the motions every day, or living this life that they are fucking killing, that they are showing up for 110%, that they are feeling their absolute best, that they are showing up their best. Your membership needs to be that differentiator. So you need to make sure that that perceived value is on point. The other thing you need to make sure of is that they can actually see themselves in that transformation. If you are, again, we'll just go with the health example. If you are this health coach and let's just say you work with all types of people, even people who are in the very, very beginning, who have never stepped foot in a gym, but you are only showing transformations of people's afters, of these fit, shredded, 6-pack, muscly people. Yes, that might be your brand. It might be an elite brand. However, are you sharing anyone's beginning, anyone's starting point? Because that's what's going to get people to actually see themselves in the transformation. There may be someone who wants to join your membership so badly, but they have never stepped foot in the gym. They're overweight. They know nothing about a macro. They don't know how to build a meal. And all they're seeing are these elite results from your membership. If the actual transformation piece isn't there, like, oh yeah, Mark started here and now he's here. If you're just showing the result, people are going to have a hard time believing that they can actually get that result too. You need to make sure that you're showing the full story. This person might be so perfect for your membership and exactly who you help, but they might be too scared to actually join because they think that they're not advanced enough, because everyone that they're seeing from this membership is just so fit, so advanced, they would think it's not for them. So they might be losing out. So you need to make sure that number one, perceived value is there, but number two, people can actually see themselves in that transformation. So sharing social proof, sharing client stories, sharing your story, all of these things are so important. So to sum that up, it's likely like 99% not the price of your membership that is the issue. It's likely your marketing and or how you're selling it. Is there urgency there? Are you always trying to sell it? And as always, if you are building your membership right now, whether you are just starting, it's in the idea phase, or you have a membership and you're trying to figure out how to consistently grow it and get new members in, the $1 Million Memberships Club is literally the next best move for you. $1 Million Memberships Club is my membership for membership founders, and it is only, as you can probably tell from the name, only focused on memberships. We're not talking about one-on-one. We're not talking about selling courses. We are focused solely on memberships. So inside of $1 Million Memberships Club, I take you through my 8-step framework of taking your membership from just idea to getting your first few members, learning how to run your community the right way, and then scaling it to multiple 6 and 7 figures. So we give you access to our 8 membership setup guides. Everything is so easy to follow. It's step by step. No matter if you are starting from zero or you're already making 6 figures in your membership and now you're ready to scale, we have different starting points depending on where you're at. And it's so easy, no matter where you're at, to jump in and get results. We have a loaded template vault with absolutely everything that you need to build your membership and run your membership. So many plug and play templates to save you loads of time. We have enrollment checklists, emails, sales strategy templates, sales page builders, content calendars, so that you can actually run your membership the right way, no matter what industry you're in. And there's just so many. And we're always adding more to the template vault as well. On top of that, we have an epic community. Like literally, I am so in love with our community. Everyone in there is absolutely amazing. People are always supporting one another in there. So even having a community of other membership founders to talk to, get support from, get ideas from, and just be able to lean on as you build your membership, I think is something that's absolutely priceless. Especially if you're in other entrepreneur groups, a lot of the times, not everyone in there is building memberships. So just being able to be with other people building just memberships, I think is something that is so priceless and just such a amazing part of this membership. On top of that, we have monthly calls where you can come onto the call and get support with your own membership, personalized support from me, from other members inside of our community, where I lead you through membership workshops every single month. And if you are listening to this in real time, we are at the end of October right now, which means we are getting into Black Friday season. And as you know, if you listened to last week's episode, Black Friday is when I go all out. I save the absolute best incentives, best access points, everything for Black Friday. And I haven't released it to the public yet of what we're doing this year, but I know you're going to be absolutely blown away by the bonuses and the accessibility that we're giving away this time of year in November. So if you want to start prepping for it, you want to see what they're going to be so that you can start getting yourself ready for it and start figuring out which option you're going to do, go to the show notes and click on the first link that you see. That will add you to the waitlist and you will get the details sent right to your inbox right away. So you don't have to wait for me to publicly announce. You can just go to that link, put your name on there, and you will get the details right away so that you can start getting prepped and ready for it. The other bonus of doing that is when we do actually open up our bonuses in our enrollment, we always open to the waitlist first. And we always give an extra special bonus. Usually that's some money off and a big bonus. And that is just for the waitlist. So by getting your name on here right now, this is guaranteeing that you're going to get a bonus that no one else is even going to see. We won't be talking about it publicly. It's just going to go to you. So if you are a membership founder, you are growing a membership, or you want to start a membership, this is literally the best place for you to be. Go get your name on that waitlist, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.